Hey, yo. Job guys, back with you again. It is Nick, it is Ryan, and it is late. Holy cow. Nearly 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, right after WrestleMania 38, Night 1. Nick, gotta say, quite an incredible night. Very polarizing coming into this Mania, Nick. Some people really liked the build. Some people really didn't, thought it absolutely sucked. So the question is, after night 1, Nick, was it stupendous?
I don't know if I give stupendous, but I thought going in knowing what we were getting, I thought it ended up being pretty good. Again, is it going to go down as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time? Probably not. I don't know how it does. The card, I've talked to you with it's one of those like albums where the artist releases 2 CDs and it should have been 1.
Yeah.
I think at the end of this, there's going to be something close to 14 matches on both nights. I think if it would have just been 7 or 8 matches, it's going to have been an amazing WrestleMania. But some of these other ones, I think, that aren't necessarily bad matches or anything like that, but just kind of, like I could see people say lackluster feud or,
unnecessary.
Just not really into it.
Yeah, no question. Well, and we had one cut tonight because of time. You got 2 nights. And you went nearly 4 hours with only 7 matches. They had to cut the New Day against Butch and all those. So for all the Butch people, they're going to be even more mad because now he got his Mania match cut there. But I'll tell you what, Nick, the internet thought this was stupendous. I could not believe right from the get-go. I mean, everybody on earth, fans, even the biggest critics as the night went on, Meltzer, The Torch, The Observer, all those guys thought every match was great. It was shocking hearing them say that. Our buddy from The Torch, Sean Radigan, tweeted this just a couple of minutes ago. This is the first time I can recall seeing so many happy wrestling fans on my timeline. You all deserve it. Isn't it nice to be happy together and enjoy good wrestling? Tonight was just the best. I can't believe we still have a second night coming. So there you go. And he's not wrong with all the tribalism that we've had lately between WWE and AEW and all the indies and everything. If people hated it, they weren't talking about it tonight online. A lot of people absolutely loved this show. So there we go. Just wanted to get that in there. Let's get right into it, man. Opening package I thought was pretty good this year. Mark Wahlberg. And they were serious this year. It's Mark Wahlberg, but they, the last couple of years have been like funny or trying to be funny and comedy and stuff. This was cool. This is huge. This is WrestleMania. This is a big deal. I thought it was great.
I did too. And I thought, I was thinking the same thing. The set, was it the greatest ever set you've ever seen? No. But was it bad? No. I thought it looked classic. Classy, maybe the word. I like the ramp with WrestleMania all the way down it in blue and white, I believe it was.
Yep.
I thought, I had no problem with the open. And the opening was kind of, man, when they hit at 8, it was go. It wasn't, 20 minutes of some sort of introductions or rock bands or,
we did have a bad America the Beautiful. We did have that. But,
okay. That's okay. I can get over that and move on,
Right.
And they got right to it, man. Yep.
Ring
the bell.
I think the set was fine. I don't think it was great. It's clean.
Yeah.
It seemed a lot like the 35 set that was just the logo. Remember, it was just a giant screen. It was more than that. There's depth to it and whatnot. It was simple, but it's fine. What do we want to get into the attendance right away? Because that's, a huge talk, because.
Is it really?
Oh, because WrestleTix, who knows nothing, that's a whole other story. 1 week they tweeted they'd sold 57,000 tickets. A week later, they said they'd only sold 53,000.
They went down.
So what? Yeah, a lot of people returned their tickets apparently, or you don't know what you're talking about. One or the other. I don't know which one it is, but they had them at 66 without suites. And there's 350 suites in there. So, you could have another 3,000 people. Obviously, they inflate the number, but really let's say it's 70. You're really going to get bent out of shape for saying you sold 70,000 tickets 2 nights in a row?
Yeah.
You know how many tickets that is? A lot. So, come on. Let's get into the matches here, Nick. They begin with the tag match. It's Shinsuke and Boogs, brought to you by Mike's Harder Lemonade. As they come out, we're getting a little sponsorship in there.
Nice.
They come out. I heard tomorrow, breaking news here, Roman is going to be brought to you by Trojan Magnum. That's breaking news right here for everybody. So, so tell your friends. Anyway, they're taking on the Usos. Speaking of Roman, pretty decent match, but it turns out we did have a real injury in this match.
Yes,
Nick. Boogs tried to lift both dudes up on his shoulder, and his knee just gave out. And you didn't know at first. You're like, all right.
Was it planned? Yeah. Was it part of the match or whatever? But yeah, turns out it is a bad injury.
Yeah, and he never got in, and then they never showed him again until after the match. He was still laying in the same spot, so you're like, oh, crap. He's really hurt. And then later they say he has a torn patella tendon, and they kept saying quad tendon and patella tendon. So is it both? Is it one of the – either way, that's not a good injury to have.
No, it's not.
At all. That's he's going to be out for a year. He can still probably play his guitar, though. So, he can still do that.
The ring. Got him. Yeah.
Anything about the match at all, Nick? I thought the match was fine.
It was
Nothing
fun.
special, but
no, that's what I had down here. I thought it was fine. I didn't like this. Man, get right off the start. Shinsuke's vibrating leg in the corner is got to be one of the worst. It's got to be one of the worst moves in wrestling. I mean, it's just bad. I didn't like, and maybe I just expected more. You got 2 guys, the Usos, who definitely can work. And, a lot of people like Shinsuke. I know Rick went down in the match, but yeah, it was a decent match. Nothing special. Weird style of match for the opener. No real feud to the story. Kind of just threw it together in the last couple weeks. But I thought it was a decent match. I don't have any problem with the match. And the right team won. Well, the Usos, it's not time to lose those titles yet.
No, not yet. And Nick, going back to what you said a little bit there, this Mania was a little different than what we've seen. They kind of did the old-time WCW thing, and you see this with some other companies where they built up to the bigger matches instead of mixing them around. Most of the time, especially with 2 girls' title matches on this show, you would have thought one of those would have started this show. The first few matches of this show were the ones nobody really – they weren't as big as the later ones. And sorry, everybody, you see Nick right here. That's because we lost him. We lost his video feed. We can still hear him, though. Apparently, that's what happens after midnight. You turn into a pumpkin. And
we signed a deal with Peacock, and this is what happened.
That's right. It's the darn cock again. It got us. So we can hear Nick. We can't see Nick. We may have to go back to our very first show and bring Quarantine Nick.
That's back. All right. That's all
Quarantine
right.
Nick may make another appearance here. So there we go. That's the first match of the night. They open with that tag match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Then after that, we get Drew against Happy Corbin. Hopefully, we are all happy, and this is the end of this feud, Nick. Hopefully, that
4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah,
this is back to Survivor Series, isn't it?
It's at least like December,
or early December. Because this is probably the worst of all the ones on the card today, and I love Drew McIntyre.
Right.
I really like this guy. I'm glad they're pushing him. You know what? And I'm not even going to go into. We don't even need to talk about Corbin. Love him or hate him. This gimmick is just terrible. It's awful. I mean, is anybody out there really like this? And I think what cripples it a lot too, every story now, deals with Drew's sword. Every feud he has.
Well, Lisa or Belinda, who is it?
Yeah, or whatever, man. Yeah, it's just
Erica, the sword.
I don't know. Those two things. I don't know what I hate worse, Happy Corbin's gimmick or Drew's sword. Yeah, but I mean, the match was good.
It was. It was.
Yeah, I mean, Drew took, man, that swanton. I don't think he hit that. Is perfect. He landed with a thud on his back on the outside.
You're talking about the dive.
Yeah, the dive over the top. Yeah.
You know, I'm not that impressed, man, because I see Darby Allin like jump through the ropes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
He weighs as much as McIntyre's leg. But I mean,
or Lisa the sword. Does he weigh that much?
Yeah, good match though.
Kicked
out of the end of days. I love Cole. I don't know if you remember. Cole tries to sell it as the first time ever someone's kicked out of the end. I mean, I don't know if that is true.
People were talking about it online, and I don't know if that's just because Cole said it, but they were protecting the end of days.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, I got another match. There's some decent commentary on this pay-per-view that I'm not saying it was all good, but yeah, it was. I don't know. And this match was okay, but again, it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. You know, I don't know.
Well, you've said a couple things, and I don't want to break down the entire Corbin gimmick, but you know, the pre-match package, which every match had one today, which is part of the reason why the show went 4 hours and only 7 matches. But they're all good. They're all freaking great. But the whole thing was about Corbin's gimmick, and. Right. And I don't know what it is with that guy, if it's because his original gimmick, people just don't like him. And he can wrestle.
Yep, he can talk too.
And he can talk. They just don't want to see him. So that, is a problem. But the crowd was into this. They were behind Drew, which is good for Drew.
Yes.
Because, listen, man, 2 years ago, he closed COVID Mania. He closed it. That was supposed to be his big moment. Last year, he was in the title match, but he opened the show. And now this year, he's in night 1, match 2 against Happy Corbin. They are going to heat him back up, though, because they need to. How about the end, Nick?
He tries to kill
Claymore. Place goes crazy. He tries to kill the man with Tracy, and he takes Krista and hits the rope. And I knew that was going to happen. That was going to happen. But when he hit it, did you hear the sound effect?
The bang. I have it written down here, making it an explosion seemed to go off, making it look worse than it already was.
I mean, where are we here? Is this Europe? Like, why are grenades going off? It sounded like a bomb went off. When
he needs to get rid of the sword. The sword is awful. What are you going to do with it?
Break ropes.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I guess, because you can't really kill someone. So
right. Yeah,
I don't know.
The match was fine though. It was better than I expected.
Yep. It was a good match.
There was that. Here we go. Moving on. We have the Mysterios against The Miz and Logan Paul. Once again, The Miz is in a celebrity match. I have here, like we mentioned, they're getting all the matches no one really cares about out of the way early. Paul comes down with a Pokemon card that's worth like $500,000 around his neck. Dominic, what is this kid wearing? Now, it turns out people assume it was the Los Gringos Locos outfit from back in the day with Eddie Guerrero, a tribute to him. But it just didn't look right on Dominic. If that's what it was, whatever it was, it didn't look right on him. He got the crowd going, though. I'll give him that. He got the crowd going. The finish, good finish, I thought. It was kind of cool.
I thought it was great. I thought Logan Paul was great.
He was great.
I thought he was. I love the Three Amigos when he did that. That was some heat, man. Like, people didn't like seeing him do that.
He turned face for me.
He did. That was great.
Total face move as far as I'm concerned, and I don't care if that gets heat.
He was spot on some big saves. He didn't come in late or anything. And when he got in there, man, I thought he was awesome. I mean, for what? Remember, you're going in there. He's not Bret Hart. Right. You know, I mean, so I mean, people are like, oh, he was okay for what he was, just coming off the bench and going in there. And I will say this: he does have, what is he, 23 million followers or something like that? Yeah. I mean, he's definitely a big enough celebrity to have at WrestleMania. He's got more
boxed freaking Floyd Mayweather, dude.
Right.
Yeah. People, if you didn't know, they knew after that.
I looked up the only two wrestlers who have more social media followers than him are The Rock and John Cena.
Yeah, and they don't wrestle anymore.
They don't wrestle. So, I mean, that's it. He's got Ronda Rousey has 18 million, or so it said on the site that I looked at. I hope that's accurate. But, yeah.
Probably.
I don't. I
had made for this. Because this is what he does in real life. Like, people hate him. He works people. Yes. He's a heel. So, like, it comes natural. He's the exact antithesis to Ronda Rousey.
I don't know.
Doesn't get it. Like,
you think it's going to work with it? Because the Miz turns on him at the end of this match. Right. Apparently, he's the face here going forward. If we're going to, lengthen this out. I don't know.
Not to the crowd, he wasn't.
The crowd cheered when the Miz freaking hit the thing on him.
People hate the Paul brothers.
Does Vince get that?
Well, and that's what everybody kind of thought something was going to happen. Most people thought Logan was going to turn on the Miz and cost him the match. We saw the exact opposite of that here. They won the match because of the Miz. Awesome finish here. And then when they're celebrating, he plants him. So obviously they're doing something here. The question is, what are they doing? Do the Paul brothers now come together? Because the other Paul was on the pregame show telling the fans he was going to kill them all. Like, so are they going to be a tag team now? Obviously, there's some more to this story.
Right. Yep. That sets up the Raw, I guess.
The crowd, it was hot, man. Like, they were an awesome crowd all night. And for these matches, the ones that weren't really the big ones, hot. So then we finally get our first big match. And it is Becky Bianca, probably the best build out of anything here outside of Roman and Brock. This build has been awesome. Going back to SummerSlam, first big match of the night. Becky shows up in an Escalade.
Yep.
Okay.
Big time Bex.
But I mean, of everything that they do, they couldn't do anything. We've seen people show up in cars all the time. I don't know, whatever. Bianca gets the full marching band from Texas Southern. They're playing her song.
Did you hear Corey Graves?
Corey
Graves, I was looking at it, I was like, marching band. They didn't really tell you who they were, if they were this famous marching band. They didn't really do a good job. Corey Graves goes, "What the hell is this?" And then it's dead silence for 90 seconds. It's like no one told the announce team. He's like, "What the hell is this?"
I've only figured it out because I finally saw the logo and I go, I think that's Texas Southern.
See, I didn't know, and the announce team didn't seem to know who they were or why they were there. It just, I don't know. I'm not saying it was a bad idea.
No,
it was just lack of communication there when they were setting that. I mean, this is an amazing marching band. This is.
And you didn't really realize they were playing her song until at least halfway through, and they're like, "Oh, that's her song." Okay,
right,
whatever. Right. It was fine.
That's fine. It was.
She looked great. She gets in the ring. They kind of started doing the same thing that they did last year with Bianca and Sasha, where they looked at the crowd and got the crowd excited. They were excited right away. They had a great start, Nick. They did the kind of SummerSlam thing.
Wasn't a pin close? That was a close one, man. Like, I mean, they did a really late kick out to the point where I think there were some people that had maybe a gasp right there, like, no way, not again.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Bianca Belair. That was a great kick out by her. I mean, she waited that you couldn't put a piece of paper between the ref's hand and the mat, how close that was right off the bat.
Yep. Nick, I'll let you go here, but just online, this is when I really started to see stuff. I thought it was a very, very good match, probably the match of the night, but I didn't think it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, but I thought it was really, really good. Dude, online, people were acting like this was the greatest women's match in the history of wrestling. What do you think?
I don't think it was that good. It was very good, though. I loved Corey Graves. Both women have main evented WrestleMania, and both have left as champions. Great freaking line.
I don't think they said that enough in the build. They did say it, but I don't think they emphasized that enough.
Corey was really good, I thought, throughout the night, man.
Yeah.
He said it's one thing to win the title and get on top. It's another thing to stay there. And Becky has done, illustrating Becky has done this and putting it on what it was. This was really a battle for Bianca's career.
Yeah.
She loses, and I know it's fake. Yeah, I mean,
she had to win.
She had to win. Otherwise, she just goes back down the card into irrelevancy if she loses this match, in my opinion. This was another big win for her.
Yeah.
And place went freaking nuts. They are behind Bianca.
She's awesome.
She is. The fans love her. She's great. Becky,
the strength.
These two are two of the best women in the industry. They really are.
Ever.
They are. Yes, they are awesome. I think Bianca has only got good days in front of her. And Becky, for some people say this about other superstars that like to claim they can reinvent themselves over and over. She really does. She has had multiple gimmicks that have been really good with her ever since she took the goggles off and got rolling. Great match. I really enjoyed it. Right person won. Kiss of death.
Glad you said that, because everybody was mad about the heel turn. Nobody wanted her to turn heel, and they're not cheering her anymore. But because she is so good at this gimmick. The big time Beck's gimmick. She's awesome. She's hands down the best female on earth right now.
Right now. Yep.
And she may be the best talker overall in the business. She is great. But that said, Bianca is awesome too. And this was her night, and it should have been. I said to my buddy watching it with me that she's like the Brock Lesnar of women. Back when Brock was still, if you remember, 19 when he landed on his head, because she does these insane power moves we've never seen a girl do before. Maybe China didn't even do stuff like this, lifting people up, throwing them around, the delayed suplexes. And she's
light years better in the ring than China, no disrespect.
I'm better than China. She wasn't good in the ring. And she does 450 splashes and this, so she can fly awesome as well. She is so good.
What's exciting? Looking forward to, because I don't think we're done with her face run. She's got a lot of face left in her. A heel run out of this woman as a monster. Once this, everything runs its course.
Yeah.
She could be almost like the female Scott Steiner. Just murdering people. Just freaking, you could just really create a monster.
Too. That's a good comparison too, because he was this giant guy throwing people around, and he's doing Frankensteiners and whatever. Yes. So great match. Maybe the match of the night. The crowd again, nuts when she wins. The culmination of 9 months or however many it's been since SummerSlam. She got her belt back. Awesome match, dude. Awesome match. So then, I think for the first time ever, husband and wife fight back-to-back. Not positive if that's true, but it very well could be. Here comes Seth to fight his mystery man. And everybody pretty much knew who it was, but I don't know if it's WWE screwing with people or what. You still had Meltzer out there saying he could back out. Oh, he might back out. It's supposed to be Shane. Oh, who knows? I did think they were going to toy with people and maybe bring Shane out, or maybe Shane says you got to run a gauntlet and then Elias comes out, because we've seen him do that before. I don't know. Bring some people out, have them fight, and then the last guy is Cody just to mess with people or something. Nope. We get a delay. And then Cody's music hits. And it is Cody's music that he used in Japan, that he used in ROH, that he used in AEW. The crowd knows it. The freaking roof, Nick, blows off of this place. They wanted him, they got him, and they were happy to see him.
And so was I, man. I love this stuff when we start getting guys that change and whatnot. I mean, what we've seen trickle over to AEW, some of the guys have been kind of irrelevant, but, when CM Punk, when Daniel Bryan, when these big name dudes show up over there, it's great for wrestling. It's cool to see people flip-flop back and forth
like on the old shows. Days.
Right. And it gives guys a chance to reinvent themselves, start new, do something else, and I'm excited to see a Cody run. I thought his entrance was awesome. I loved him coming up through the stage. I love that they got his music. It looked
that's
like
his. That's his. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. It looked like Seth raided Ric Flair's closet before he headed to the ring.
He did. Yeah. And then Charlotte's outfit looked kind of exactly like that one. Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. Boy, Cody, I thought the match was great. Cody is, I'm not going to say he's the best ring worker. Seth is better than he is. But he's not bad or anything at all. I thought they put on a really good match. Cody took a wicked suplex bump to the outside during that reverse suplex exchange.
Yep.
And then a crazy power bomb into the barricade the barricade outside.
Yep.
And I tell you, for a minute, Seth kicks out of Crossroads.
I'm glad you're saying this. Go ahead.
Seth kicks out of the Cody cutter off the top ropes. There was a slight minute for me. Are they going to sting this dude? Because
big showing.
Because they do that. Stott Steiner, Booker T, all these guys, Hogan, Hollywood, when he came, first big match, not that, understand different situation, but I'm like, man, just for a second, I'm like, he can't lose this. Like, this will just kill him. And then I was going to ask you, because the finish, not quite Savage Warrior, but there were a lot of hits on a finishing move on that. I was curious to hear what you had to say, and I was also curious to hear if you had Seth Rollins got line of the night, even though I've said a few from Corey Graves that I loved.
Back in the big
leagues.
Welcome
back to the big leagues, B.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought the match was very good. I thought it was very good. I didn't think it was great. Cody was gassed, and there was one point he looks bigger. An article came out in Variety magazine the second his music hit, and it's like an interview with him, why he left and all that, but he's not shooting. He says he won't. There will be no shoot interview. I'm keeping everything to myself. So in case we were hoping maybe you'd get one of those Monday. You could tell he was gassed, though. He tried to bridge out at one point and couldn't do it, and they covered it fine. They covered it fine, but he couldn't do it.
He's grabbing his rib a little bit there, too. I don't know if he was selling or if
swore
he
at one point, yes. And he got really kicked square in the forehead as well. And
that one off the top. Yeah, that
left.
Hurt.
Yeah, and it left shoelace marks on his forehead. So now he really looks like his dad. But he had rope burns on his back because, remember, he's using steel cables everywhere. The only people that use real ropes is WWE. His back was torn up. And that wasn't from the fire that he put himself through. Remember when he had burns on his back for a month? No, he had rope burn on his back. So he was pretty beat up here. Going back to what you said, I was like, did he bring AEW with him? Because they're just kicking out of everything. This match should have been over. He took a reverse suplex off the top rope and kicked out of it. But going back to, he kicks out of the Crossroads. Now, earlier in the night, they just talked about no one has ever kicked out of the Corbin end of days of all things you're going to protect. You're protecting the end of days for 5 years. They kick out of the Crossroads on night 1.
Yeah.
That pissed me off, to be honest with you. Like, I was like, really? On night 1, you just went crazy about the end of days. But I never thought Cody wasn't going to win. But, yeah, kicked out of an awesome Cody Cutter, jumping, bouncing, plinkoing off the ropes, and I thought that was sweet. The moves you talked about were sweet with Seth, and then he wins, hitting 2 Crossroads, gets up. The crowd loved this, so I can't crap on
the bionic elbow. They loved it.
On the whole kicking out of the Crossroads.
I can't lie,
because
I thought it was cool.
he gets out, the crowd flips, dude. Yeah. They flipped, and they were already going nuts, and then he wins it with a 3rd Crossroads, and it's what it should have been. And people want him to be a heel. He's not gonna be.
Not yet. I will say this,
not
though.
Today.
He's not John Cena. They're not going to keep him, like, it's not going to be like, no, we're not even discussing the heel turn possibility. Yeah. If it goes down the road and by SummerSlam they're crapping on him, excuse me, I don't think Vince would be afraid to turn this guy.
No. But
No, I wouldn't do it right now. I would try it as face. He's coming in, the place popped off. I hope this is the end of the feud. I don't want to see this go 2-3 where they change a victory back and forth. I don't think Cody needs to get pinned right now.
No.
And I don't think he needs to necessarily beat Seth again. This was a big match. I think they could, maybe even move him to SmackDown. And that's just how Seth can't fight him again. Or something like that.
We don't know what show he's on.
No,
we would assume Raw, but we don't know that.
I hope this doesn't go to Seth wins the next pay-per-view, then Cody wins the one after that, because it's just going to delegate him to a high mid-card status.
If they do fight again, they do the Bianca Becky thing. Oh, I wasn't ready. I didn't know who I was fighting. Cody's got to win again then.
He has to.
No, but I don't want to see it again. Not at all. But they're not going heel now because the guy's over his heck. And like I told you in that shoot article, he's like, I will not crap on them. I'm not going to crap on them. There will be no shoot interview, and everything the rumors people are talking about are not true. So if that's true, and why wouldn't it be? Sounds like he's not, because that's what people want to see. They want to see him come out and say, yeah, I left here 6 years ago. You guys thought I sucked, and guess what? I'm sweet, and now I'm back to prove it. But that plays blue, and apparently he's not going to do that. So there you go. I thought this was great, man. And afterward, Cody tweeted right before we started our show here, wrestling is a love story. That's all he wrote. Whatever that means, that's what it means to him. So
I'm going in with an open mind. I hope it works. I don't need to see him bash. You know what? I've heard enough out of a lot of people bashing this company and that company. Let's just shut up and wrestle, man. Let's get some good feuds. Let's see what Cody can do. This was a huge push. This guy is over right now. Let's see, like, if for anybody out there that ever was a Cody Rhodes fan, I mean, I hate to say it, this is the big leagues. This is the #1 company in the world. Let's see if this dude can get over, and I hope he does, man. It would be cool to see.
They need him to.
Yes.
They need him to. Nick,
yes.
Now that they did it this way, is this the way they should have done it? Without him showing up, it was kind of like Punk. We knew that it was him, but we didn't know, when he came in Chicago. So did they do it the right way, or should he have shown up last week, the week before, whatever, or was this perfect?
I was questioning it going in. I kind of wanted to see him, but now that they're not going this, my past or my former company, I'm going to bash either one of them. And you know what? These people like Meltzer, they actually, I don't know if they were trying to sabotage this or whatever, but they kind of led some speculation to this, which allowed, I think, this to work better than it maybe would have if everybody just kept saying, yeah, he's here. That would have been the thing to kill it. Yeah, it's just Cody. It's just Cody. It's Cody. Don't be surprised. Almost like Bischoff tried to do. Foley wins the title. Don't change it. You know, but
I thought I wanted to see him at least show up Monday, and maybe not even talk, just show up and point. But after seeing him come out, no, this was the way to do it. Because I'll tell you, the best visual of the night was his entrance.
Yes,
we talked about the stage and everything, the fireworks going up the stage, the fireworks coming out of the stage. He had a better entrance than the Taker had tonight, man. That entrance was awesome in the way they shot it coming up through the Cody Vader thing, out of the ground. It looked sweet, dude. So no, this was the way to do it.
And you're never going to get the match. And I say this begrudgingly because I would have loved to see it. Triple H versus Cody.
Yeah.
But they did a kind of little testament to it when they exchanged attempts at pedigrees in there. I think everybody was thinking that, it's just, and I think we all just, no one's fault. I just, too bad.
Man?
Yeah, he can't wrestle anymore. God, I hope he stays healthy and safe, man.
Yep, he looks good. He looks good.
Best wishes to him. But yeah, I just wish we could have got that match. But again, Seth is his kind of protege, if you will. Remember, he was the architect, broke up the Shield. If you're kind of going on the storylines and things like that. Yeah. So
and Cody was the Triple H of AEW. Yep.
I thought the whole thing was. I even liked. You know what? They did kick out of some finishers. I can deal with it as long as I don't keep seeing it in every Cody match.
Oh, the moves were sweet. They were all awesome. I was just like, oh, that should have been it. Oh, that should have been it. But then the real finish was sweet too. So,
yes.
All right. So then we get Ronda against Charlotte, Raw, SmackDown, Women's Championship. A lot of people, speculated this was supposed to be the last match. That obviously changed in the last week or so, if you believe that. The hype, they tried a lot of things. It just didn't seem to work going in. So then we get to the match. Nick, I'll give my thoughts second. Your thoughts on this match. Charlotte wins.
I told you Thursday in my car. Remember, I don't know if I called you on the phone. I was driving home from work, and I'm like, I just got a feeling, man. And I let the pressure go with me. I thought I started to think today Ronda was going to win. But all through these weeks, the build-up, I'm like, I don't think they really trust putting the belt on Ronda because she's not over. She could quit and run off, and that's the worst case scenario if your champion has the belt, that she just takes off. I thought the match, it was better than I expected because Ronda has been so bad inside that ring to this point. I really, really enjoyed the foot on the rope and the referee actually making the 3 count, but then going back on it and the whole argument ensuing. I thought that was kind of really good about telling a story. Not great on the finish with just a big boot to the face and she pins Ronda after Ronda sells nothing. She gets up from everything but a big boot to the face.
I mean, she did catch her off guard, but I totally agree. Yeah.
Other than that, but it was a good match, I thought, for Ronda. Better, but yeah, I don't think it was great by any means. But I think it was the shocker of the night, if you will, the upset of the night, probably, that Charlotte Flair, and she's got some big WrestleMania wins when
she's beating everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, except for Becky, I guess.
Yeah.
She beat her in a 3-way way back. You're grading on a curve here because every match was pretty good. I thought this was the worst match of the night. Now, every match was pretty good, but I thought this was the worst of the bunch. I did not care about this one lick going. I was one of those people. They're both unlikable. They're both. So I'm just, You're right, though. I think everybody on earth would put it down in Sharpie, man. Sharpie that, like North Carolina and Kansas. Ronda's winning. Ronda, until this week. And because they've had a couple of bad weeks of TV here the past couple of weeks, I think people started going, dude, I don't know. And there were rumors that Ronda might leave. Like, this ain't working. She wants out. So I was not surprised by this. I did not like the finish. I know what you mentioned, the ref 3 count. And then Flair smokes or kicks Ronda and whatever, spears the ref. After the second ref bump, and then Charlotte tapped, I'm like, okay, that's 2 ref mistakes. Charlotte is definitely winning now.
Yeah.
After the 1, you're like, 2 of them. So I wasn't surprised. And it was just strange. It was twice. Foot was on the rope. But that doesn't count to me. Foot's on the rope. So, no, you didn't pin her. Yeah, but she got 3. No, you didn't.
That's why I like that. And they were trying to illustrate that, no, the referee made the right call.
Right.
The foot was on the rope. That wasn't a victory.
But she's going to come out and say, I beat you twice, actually. And no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You actually didn't. And you may have won once, but I didn't like that they did it twice. It kind of, I don't know. And then she wins out of nowhere. I don't think this helped Ronda at all. Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know where they're going here, but very strange. Like,
you know what? I guess we wait and
strange.
See. Is Ronda still here in a month or 2? I mean, because that could be. I mean, Charlotte could have been booked to lose 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and this stuff is not going well, and and maybe just what we heard, Ronda she wears her emotions on her sleeve a lot of the times, and the fans have got to her before, and you can see the social media is going on her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The match wasn't terrible. The finish was just strange.
It was weak to me on this incredibly monstrous built woman who really doesn't sell a lot when she gets hit.
Right.
A quick kick to the face, fall down 1, 2, 3, it's over.
Yeah. So we've got 2 nights of WrestleMania, and as we told you, they still had to cut a match. New Day and Sheamus is cut. They went online. They were upset, as they should be. Why don't they just, at the very least, put them on the pre-show tomorrow? I mean, what are we doing? The show starts at 8. Put this match on at 7:30 at the very least. And put it out on social media right now. Hey, get there real early because this match is going to happen. At least give them that. So they get cut. And we had a guy get hurt that allegedly cut another match short. They still got cut.
Right.
So, whatever. So then we get the selling point. Owens comes out for the KO show with Austin. He's running down Austin and da-da-da. Finally, he has enough. The glass breaks. Place goes ape once again. Austin comes out. Crowd loves it. He goes through the stage and doing his thing. Goes back, gets his 4-wheeler, comes out to the ring. They sit down. KO is just cutting it on him, doing a great job. And he finally says, I didn't expect them to go this route, Nick. He finally says, I told you I wanted you to come here to talk. No, I want to fight. I want to fight you. That's why I told you to come here. I want a match, and I want a no-holds-barred match. And people are like, whoa. A match? That's the word we are not supposed to. That was the no word, right? So,
well, because I wrote that on here. Everyone was wondering what they were actually gonna do,
right? Because
the WWE had been very unclear. Match, fight,
right?
Kind of a brawl on the show. Like, what are we getting here?
Right. And I guess the rule of thumb is if you call it a match right away, well then. You get to hype his first match in 19 years. He's coming out of retirement. But then what if it stinks? So then if you do it this way, then I guess you're getting more than you thought you were going to get. Yep. So your mind tells you you're getting more than you thought. So even if it isn't that good, oh, well, it was still cool. So here we go. Austin says, okay, Nick, the match. Go ahead.
What did you think? Was he getting mad at the fans for not understanding? Don't count. It's what when he kicks them in the corner.
I don't know.
They were counting 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
If you go, and I guess this just illustrates it's been 19 freaking years, man.
Well, I'd rather them count, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I did not like to hear the what's back.
I know. We've got it for at least another 5 years now. Thanks.
I know. But yeah, it was better than I thought it was going to be. They did have a fight. Austin did take a few bumps, man. He took a suplex on the hard outside on the concrete, man.
I couldn't believe that.
Me neither. Yeah, I thought it was good. I funny a little bit, I guess. I don't know what Owens was doing, getting on the bike and the four-wheeler and trying to take off and get it going. You know, he must have been educated.
Just so the old man didn't have to walk all the way up there, I guess.
Must have been educated by Hogan on how to start those things.
I was saying it better not stall, dude. It better not stall out.
But yeah, man, they went back and they, you know, although it was a brawl, they went all over into the fans, up the ramp, outside. Austin hit the pole too. Took that.
He did.
Really, I thought he might be. I was wondering because I know me too. I thought he was going to cut himself over there. Didn't. But yeah, and I think at the end, out of nowhere, how cool was the Owens stunner? Well, you know, that was a great moment. And you were
Austin's
like,
drinking beer the entire night, and he's drinking beer right then. Stunned him. And Austin took a good stunner, too.
Yes, he did. The man did well for being 57 years old. He didn't come back. I'll give him this. It wasn't Shawn Michaels in Saudi Arabia.
No.
He came back.
Not at all.
And if this is his last match, I think he can again. Obviously, not as good as the Rock's match. That was I love that. I think that's their best fight when the Rock beats him at Mania.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to be embarrassed about here. This was a good match. You gave the fans what they want, and I'll tell you what. He's the biggest pop in the night, Ryan. That place went freaking nuts.
And it was close because Cody was massive too. But Austin was the.
You could see everybody standing. Guys and gals, that's what the fans used to look like almost through the whole show back 20 plus years ago.
Every night. On both
packed
shows.
Packed houses, people screaming, people standing up, arms in the air. Just illustrates how big this guy is. In the terms of the industry.
Yeah, I thought it got better as it went because I'll tell you, I was a little scared at the beginning. And I know he was what you were talking about, the what's in the counting. He was purposely kicking him slow. But every one of those kicks, his leg got a little lower and a little lower and a little lower. And then when he went for the quick stomps, it wasn't very quick. Then he did it in the adjacent turnbuckle, and his leg was barely getting off the ground. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be bad. But then once they got on the outside, it's like he got his juice, and then he was going. You know, it was like he just had to get hit or something.
Right.
He was great. As soon as they got to the outside, he took that post, he took the suplex, they're running up and down the steps. He was awesome after that. It was exactly what it should have been. The crowd the whole time was freaking out. So he wins. I got to get this in here, dude. The finish. Adrian Adonis, WrestleMania 3. Owens executed it slightly better than the old adorable one who hit the ropes with the scissors, waited 15 seconds, then snapped them back.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, man.
It's so bad. Yeah. This one was great. I think The Rock did that at least one time, too, and did it very well. Boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, he nailed it. And then into a stunner, 1, 2, 3. Stunned him again after drinking a couple of beers. Could have done without stunning Saxton at the end. But whatever.
They were just handing out stunners. Yeah, they were just making, sending the crowd home happy.
But place loved it, man. I mean,
they did. They ate it up.
It's been quite the weekend. Now, I don't know if this is good or bad, but if you're our age, my gosh, the nostalgia this weekend, The Undertaker last night at the Hall of Fame, these two, you can't see him, but myself, the most notorious Undertaker haters on earth, he was awesome.
Yes.
at the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Nick. We haven't talked. He was awesome. Like, it was incredible. That whole show was like the greatest Hall of Fame of all time. And now tonight with Austin, Cody's here. I mean, it just what
it was
night.
I shy sly of just saying, short of just saying great show. It was a very, very good WrestleMania. I like I said, I don't think it's going to be like a 9 or a 10, one of the greatest things, but I would give it an 8. I thought night one. Sad thing is, night 2, it's going to be tough to live up to.
That's why. How do they top it tomorrow?
Because they delivered. I think the best thing, the way I would look at this, whatever you went into thinking this WrestleMania would be, it was better than that.
Oh,
it was better. Yeah. It was better than what I thought. Every match, even. And I agree with you. Charlotte and Ronda was the worst, but it was still better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it could be a possible train wreck.
Yeah, I thought Austin, the crowd might turn on it.
Right. Yeah. I thought Austin might embarrass himself, and it was awesome. Logan Paul, freaking
great,
awesome. It was Bianca and Becky, match of the night. They had a good one. This Cody coming back was so cool to see. This was really, could I say, God, I'm battling back and forth. It was a very, very, very good WrestleMania on night one.
I don't know
for what you expected.
So let's judge it like the East German team here, like the Olympic gymnastics. You have like a max level, and some girls get a perfect 10, but their maximum was only 8, so they get 8 out of 10. I think the maximum on this show was like an 8.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have gotten higher than that because there was too many matches like, who cares?
Right.
But they were good matches.
They were.
So I think, their max wasn't a 10. Their max may have been an 8, and they got at least a 7.5. I thought they executed this show about as good as humanly possible.
Yes.
I thought they did a great job.
I don't think there's a point you can walk away and say that was just an awful thing to see.
There's no possible way. Like we said, even the biggest marks on earth for the other company were like, this was great. This is great. This is great.
I can't stand Happy Corbin, but the match was good and the right guy won. At least Corbin didn't beat, Drew McIntyre gets the push. And I look at it this way. I'm happy to see Drew win, and I'm happy to see, I hope it catapults him and he keeps going.
Yeah.
This was a good night of wrestling. I hope all the fans enjoyed it.
So match of the night is Becky Bianca.
Yes.
Pop of the night, Austin over
behind Cody. Right behind with Cody.
Now, this is maybe similar, but moment of the night. What would it be? Last thing here before we roll.
I'm Cody for me. Cody's coming out. Yeah, Cody's entrance. I'm just happy to see this guy just because I want to see how good he really can be. He went over to Japan and had a lot of success. He came back to and helped create AEW. I don't think he ever got to where I thought he was going to get in AEW.
Only at the very beginning.
But there is something there with this guy. I don't know how much there is and how high it can go, but there's something there, and I hope we get to see it. I'm going to give Cody my moment of the night.
It's hard, because the Austin, we knew what that like. Yes. No one was surprised that Austin's glass was going to break and people were going to freak out. So, because it wasn't surprise, but the surprise factor, the new guy coming in, the way it looked, like we talked about. Me too. That's my moment. His entrance is my moment of the night as well. And I think Cody may be the type of guy that does need a little guidance. We've seen his rambling promos and saving racism and his kid and friggin' all the other ones that he talked about, where he's cutting fighting his own British pipe bomb while he's holding the we're fighting. It's the 1812. He's holding a ladder and talking about pipe bombs. Like, what are you doing? I think maybe he is a guy that has a lot of good ideas, but someone needs to go, no, boom, focus right here. And hopefully that makes him, next level.
I hope so too.
We get to do it all again tomorrow. What do you look quickly? What are you looking forward to? Roman obviously is the match of the night.
Roman's
anything
an easy
beyond that, and Roman's got to win, right?
Roman has to win. RK Bro, it's I want to see the turn. I want to see Riddle turn on him. And I think we're just gonna get a great match with Edge and AJ Styles.
I hope so.
I think I hope the match will overshadow the feud. Overshadow what has been kind of a lackluster feud building into this match. I hope the match saves it. Those would be my big 3 to see tomorrow.
I am at 0% now, but percentage The Rock shows up at the very end and confronts Roman.
The very end confronts Roman. I'll still give it 10%. There's all. It's the Undertaker. He left last night. Never say never, right? There's always that. My big question back to you: is that the way we want to do this?
And there's why I'm at absolute 0, because Heyman was on an interview with Ariel Helwani this week, and he said, "No, we're not doing that. No, absolutely not. No way." And he's like, "No, that's going to happen." No, it isn't. He said, "Why not? That's great." He goes, "That means the whole rest of the next year doesn't matter." Right. He goes, "Yeah, well, you did that 10 years ago." And he goes, "Well, I wasn't around 10 years ago." So,
right.
To me, I don't know why he would put it down like that. And then they do it. And he told everybody that nothing matters for a year. So that tells me they ain't doing it. So
I don't think at this point, I could be wrong. I don't think it would be a good idea. I don't.
The crowd would absolutely crap their pants that night.
They would, but then, like you said, then you kind of know there's going to be a ton of throwaway pay-per-views that Roman's not losing for sure.
Right.
Because we're going to send him
against
then it ruins that because it's. Yeah. So I don't think so, but you never know with the WWE.
Never. You never know. Well, hey, man, thanks for staying up way late. Hopefully we get out of here before 2 a.m. tomorrow. Hopefully we find a way to find you again so we don't have to look at your name. There's Nick right there. There he is. Oh, no, he isn't. And, the Ultimate Warrior with a mask on his face. So hopefully we don't have to do that tomorrow. But, yeah, one more night tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you can join us again tomorrow. Please please subscribe. And if you love Manias, go check out all our runbacks. We did 3. We did the main event. We did 9. We did 8. We did 18. I was at 8 and 18 and can give you a very first-hand review of those. So please check those out and check out our tournament too if you got a lot of time. It'll only take up like the amount of time of wrestling that's on per week. No big deal. 13 hours, no problem. But yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
All right, see you guys tomorrow.
All right, hopefully I will see you tomorrow, Nick.
Yeah, let's hope.
See ya. Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.